Does anybody even play Warzone anymore?
No.
Warzone has one last ace up its sleeve. With the coming of Season 2 Reloaded, we are going to see Blackout finally return to Call of Duty. And I truly think that Warzone shouldn't even have gotten to this point where it's pulling out its final ace. We should not have this scenario going on. We thought Verdansk was Call of Duty's last Hail Mary for Warzone, but I guess they decided let's bring back the fucking battle royale that nobody played because nobody liked Blackout. People pretend that they liked Blackout. You didn't like Blackout. I think battle royales are on the way out slowly but surely. You can see the general population is not really caring for battle royales now because at this point battle royales have been out for 10 years now, roughly. PUBG, H1Z1, those were kind of the first popular ones. I think that it's kind of over for battle royales, and I think Warzone overstayed its welcome. And in today's video, I kind of want to go over that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you at the end of this video. Warzone has been around for over 5 years, and in those 5 years, we have seen a lot of highs, and I mean some very, very low lows. And once again, we're at another low, and honestly, I truly think that this should have been the final one. Verdansk coming back should have been the final one. But honestly, there's some hope with MW4 that they might not continue Warzone, and I really hope that they choose to do that. I truly hope that we have no more highs, definitely no more lows. Warzone has strayed far away from what it was, and not even close to a good way. Many other games over the years, such as Fortnite, have strayed far away from what they were, and are still dominating the gaming landscape, because they're actually changing their game. But why couldn't Warzone do the same? I know that there's a lot of negative Call of Duty videos going around recently, and I truly think that I don't want to have that negativity towards my channel, even though those videos do so well. Just being negative towards a popular video game always goes well. That's why, oh my goodness, I could go on a whole rant why negative videos are just they're so annoying to make, and they're so frustrating to make because you want games to be good, and then you have to constantly make algorithm pleasing fucking negative videos. It's so fucking annoying. Now let's take a trip back to 2021. With the release of Call of Duty Vanguard, the brand new World War II game that nobody asked for, that brought the Modern Warfare engine back on top with a new feature, Destructible Environment. Warzone was at the top of its game with the Modern Warfare era and the Cold War integration. The Cold War era had a rocky start with that very messy integration, but overall it was a great addition to Warzone. And when it comes to Vanguard, however, truly, that's where we saw the cracks in Warzone's messy armor. You see, with Vanguard, they decided that they were done with Verdansk and they wanted a brand new map. And that map was called Caldera. Fucking Caldera. The flashbacks I get from hearing that name. I think with Caldera is where you truly see Warzone's first true low. We had seen Warzone in bad states many times before with poor optimization, polygon guns, the hacker brigade, but Caldera caused so many fans to quit and never touch Warzone again. What was the main reason people hated Caldera? And it seems like with Caldera, Call of Duty chose to listen to none of the feedback people had with Verdansk. The verticality, the one-way staircases, the dark environments, rough visibility, the bushes, those rocks. I hate those rocks, those unclimbable fucking annoying ass rocks that you can't escape on Verdansk. But they decided, let's place them all over Caldera and let's pretend that they're more climbable this time. Yes, they listened in the sense that we hated tall buildings, but they decided to give us a fucking volcano in the middle of the map, completely just negating the issue that we had with verticality in the game. And since everybody landed peak, it led so much of the rest of the map unpopulated, and also left the game unpopulated. Now here comes Modern Warfare 2. The new era of Call of Duty is here, and with changes such as wall hanging, a higher mantling height, and even a new way of doing perks with an all-new, slower, more classic-feeling movement system. So with the new COD comes a new Warzone, introducing new vehicles, newer, more tactical movement, a new Gulag system that is now a 2v2 instead of a normal 1v1, and that Gulag had a prison guard event, and I remember trying to get people to, just survive to get to the prison guard so all 4 of us could get out. That never went in anybody's favor. And Warzone 2's highlight new feature, Proximity Chat, the greatest addition to Warzone I think we have ever seen. The new era for Call of Duty was an immediate success, bringing in over $1 billion in just 10 days. This year brought people back to Call of Duty, but when we look at Modern Warfare 2, we look at it back very negatively, especially towards Warzone. So what happened with Modern Warfare 2? Warzone 2, while yes, at launch was successful, eventually became hated by the community for the changes it made. Once we got to Season 1, we saw the year that we were in for with the lack of post-launch content, and people either chose to play the multiplayer, or just flat out quit Call of Duty yet again. Because honestly, the multiplayer wasn't even that bad. While yes, it felt clunky and slow at points, I overall had a great year playing with my friends, especially on Search and Destroy. I even got the Master Camo that year, even though I wasn't even a big fan of how they did the perk system. God, that perk system was the dumbest system ever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the perk system, I believe you got just one perk at the start of the game, and then you had to work your way through the game of multiplayer, earning your other 2 perks. So you wouldn't get Ghost till like 2/3 of the way through the game. You wouldn't get like your final perk till like 2/3 of the game, and I really don't think you could even control it. I mean, but overall, I had a great year playing. Besides for that monitor, I lost to camo grinding. Should I tell that? I'm gonna tell that story. I was grinding platinum, and you had to get over 1,000 long shots. And this was back before they had like hardcore tier 1 or whatever the fuck they called it. And basically, I got so pissed that I smacked my controller down on my desk, and it bounced back up in the corner of the controller, hit my monitor, and broke my monitor. So then the next day, I was lucky that I was living at home and I was not graduated high school yet. So I could go drop $300 on a new monitor, and I'm still running that monitor to this day. Thank God I haven't broken it yet. But anyways, enough yapping about my personal losses. After what we saw was a very disappointing year for Warzone 2, we were in yet again for another Modern Warfare game. The quote-unquote $70 DLC. Modern Warfare 3 was coming, and it actually seemed somewhat promising, reverting most of the changes that Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 disastrously made. Got rid of that awful perk system, made the movement a little bit more faster, and truly was a great COD. And, you know, with Warzone, we saw another Warzone integration with Modern Warfare 3, and we saw the brand new map, Urzikstan. With Warzone 3, we basically took all the bad from Warzone 2 and all the good from Warzone 1 and basically just smushed it all together. Warzone 3 was actually pretty solid. It brought back fan-favorite maps such as Fortune's Keep and even Rebirth Island with a large amount of content post-launch. Modern Warfare 3 was truly a great year to be a year-long Call of Duty fan. It was a great step in the right direction. I remember we had so many things to do in that game. Aftermarket parks, XP camos, fun events, crazy wacky skins that I unfortunately bought. The issue with Warzone is that they didn't change the game very much. The status quo from Warzone 1 versus Warzone 3 was basically the same. While Warzone 2 tried to change it, it was very, very negative, and everybody gave feedback and basically said, give us back Warzone 1. And that's what Warzone 3 basically was. And so with Call of Duty's hit mode, Warzone kind of on the decline, it was time for Black Ops 6 to try to reinvent it, or try to give some new life into it. And what did Black Ops 6 do? Keep Urzikstan. They kept fucking Urzikstan. The Omni movement, even they made Omni movement the brand new 360-degree movement, and they made it crazy. However, Black Ops 6 sold like hotcakes. Black Ops 6 ended up being one of the best launches for a Call of Duty we've ever seen. However, it saw a generational fall off come in December. With the lack of updates in the messy month of December and January, it truly left Black Ops 6 in a horrible state. However, what we learned at Call of Duty Next for Black Ops 6 is we learned that Verdansk was coming back. Truly felt like Call of Duty's last Hail Mary, or so we thought. And in March of 2025, we saw the re-release of Call of Duty's first map, Verdansk. And truly, the launch of Verdansk was pretty fun. They had this fun safe cracking event. They brought back fan-favorite guns such as the Grau, the Kilo, the HDR. They brought back so many fun guns to play with, and it really, truly gave you some of that nostalgia back. Gave you some of that vibes of 2020 Warzone. However, there was one issue. The game just wasn't fun for people. And truly, the status quo truly hadn't changed since 2021 with Cold War, because in 2021, we had Rebirth Island and Verdansk, and now in 2025, we had Verdansk and Rebirth Island. So with fans kind of getting frustrated that the game truly felt the same, however, we had more cracked movement, so the people who were more casuals didn't have the wherewithal or the ability to keep up with those crackhead demons. And with Verdansk coming back, Warzone saw this huge surge of players. And really the question was on everybody's minds was, could they keep it? And the answer was they couldn't. Warzone had basically returned to what it was. And it got to the point where people were asking now for Blackout to come back. Yeah, the Battle Royale that came out in 2018 that was behind a $60 paywall. But does everybody not remember how bad Blackout was? Blackout had this system where you had to loot for attachments, loot perks, and all this stuff. Well, yes, it made it to where everybody was kind of on an even playing field with not having to get loadouts, but it was all based on RNG. It truly halted the pace because you had to spend the game looking for the right attachments for your gun. Now here comes Warzone 5 with Black Ops 7. I don't even know what they call it anymore. Is it just Warzone or is it Warzone 5? And yet again, Warzone is staying on Verdansk and adding one more POI from Verdansk 84, basically making no changes to it. And I mean, they did add that one new guild POI type thing, but nobody cares about that POI. BO7 announced that they were coming with the Blackout style mode for Warzone. They're adding a new map come Season 2 Reloaded with Avalon, and it truly seems like this is Call of Duty's final Hail Mary. And they're not the Hail Mary king, they're not Aaron Rodgers. So truly, I think Warzone should have been dead by now. And we got leaks with Modern Warfare 4 that if Warzone's Verdansk return wasn't a success, they would not keep pursuing Warzone. And I think they're maybe trying that again with Avalon, with Blackout. And if that doesn't work, I truly think that this is the last year of Warzone. And I truly hope so. With Warzone feeling like they can't move or progress, and when they do change, they have to revert it because the fans are crying and begging for it to be back to old Warzone to keep that nostalgia going. It seems like Warzone is dead in the ground. It is 6 feet under. We're just waiting for somebody to actually put the gravestone there. And you know what? Call of Duty did it themselves. What did they do? What could they possibly have done to make the game even worse? They added this little mode called Casual. And you think, a casual mode? That seems like a great idea. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. This is genuinely one of the worst ideas Call of Duty has ever done. A mode where you're on a 150 player map, Verdansk. You have 20 to 30 real players. Finally, those bad people can actually experience what an endgame is like, but truly, there's no thrill in winning a game. The gameplay you're seeing right now is on Rebirth Island Resurgence Casual. I dropped like 40 kills and I didn't feel a thing when I won the game. That truly was not a fun experience. I don't know why Call of Duty thought this was a good idea. I mean, truly when it came out, it was fun because I actually got to see what an endgame looked like again, but the wins don't feel satisfying. And I think that's what, games like Warzone and Fortnite are missing. They're missing the satisfaction of having an actual challenge. But I think they're heading in the wrong direction. Warzone's movement is getting cracked out. It's too fast for a lot of people. Me personally, I love Black Ops 7. I like the movement in Black Ops 7. But a lot of casual fans are just genuinely not enjoying how fast Warzone has gotten. And I think this is where Call of Duty needs to take a step back and readjust where they're going, where their push should be. And I think what it should be is ending Warzone. Not make Warzone separate. Don't change Warzone. Don't try to keep making it thrive. Kill Warzone. End it. This is the last year of Warzone. Try something new. Try a new big third game mode. I don't care if you do an extraction shooter and copy everything Arc Raiders does to a T. Just try something else. Because truly, Warzone is not going to see the success it saw in 2020 again. It's never going to see that. It won't. Blackout's not going to save it. People are going to realize with Blackout coming back how bad Blackout actually was. Nobody liked Blackout. Okay, because there was better battle royales at the time. And Blackout, no matter how good people think it is, it's not going to top Fortnite. It's not going to top Apex Legends. It's not going to top these big, hard-hitting battle royales right now. So I think for Warzone's best interest, it's best that they get rid of the mode. Warzone's true golden era was not knowing who you were going to come up against, with 2020 Warzone being locked in, and you truly felt the satisfaction of winning a Warzone game. I remember with my buddy, the first time we won a Warzone game was during quarantine, and we literally sat down for 18 hours total to try to get a duos win on Verdansk. And the satisfaction we got from winning that Warzone game after 18 hours of grinding was immense. I remember I shot up out of my chair, I screamed, I yelled. Thank God nobody was home. But I was so happy to get that win. And now I fast forward to 2026 and I'm playing Warzone and I don't feel a damn thing playing Warzone's most popular game mode, which is clearly casual. It's truly time for a new thing, Call of Duty. Just like there should be a new thing for Call of Duty. Let's try something else besides the Black Ops or Modern Warfare game. Let's try something new, Call of Duty. Warzone needs to be let go. Stop supporting a dying mode and maybe, just maybe, throw some more support towards your premium title that's now priced at $70 every single year and make that mode so much better. Or hell, make it fucking free to play, for all I care. Make Call of Duty feel like a truly great experience again. Call of Duty doesn't need to be Call of Duty doesn't need that popular game mode again. It needs that it factor again. It needs a thing that makes Call of Duty special. The constantly changing game every single year that still has that Call of Duty feel, but you're in a different era every year. You have different guns you're playing with every year. The games feel different every year. We're not on the same engine every year. There's too many cooks in the kitchen at Call of Duty right now. I think the idea of going back to 3 separate studio developments on COD again is good, so we can have, instead of one big kitchen, it's like 3 smaller kitchens. I think the idea of going from one big kitchen where everybody's putting their, their ideas, their seasoning into the pot of COD isn't a good idea, because nothing's going to feel different. Nothing feels different from, one big pot to another. But if we make like 3 smaller kitchens and, these developers are almost like competing again, I think could truly lead to like another golden era or resurgence, you could say, of Call of Duty again. So those developers can kind of cook their own special Call of Duty. It would help COD to try to revive itself again and increase the franchise's longevity even more. Not do bi-yearly remasters, but actually making Call of Duty have an it factor again. Remasters are going to be lazy. They just are. It's time to let go of Warzone, and I think Call of Duty truly needs to hear that. And I really hope MW4 truly does that. And that is why I think Warzone is a lost cause. And that's it for today's video. I know today's video is formatted a little bit differently. I didn't plaster my face on this video this time. My last video where I talked about a BO2 remaster that I think like somebody copied. Low-key, I think somebody copied my BO2 remaster video. But that's besides the point. I'm kind of getting frustrated at this because I cover topics like 4 months, 5 months, half a year in front of like these big content creators. Like big content creators are now finally talking about, they were just now finally covering Call of Duty feeling the same every year, and I was covering that back in March of 2025. So that's frustrating. But anyways, I'm just trying different ways of formatting videos, and I think me just kind of not throwing my face on it, because I want to try to get videos out more frequently, not throwing my face all over it, and just kind of talking over gameplay. I think is the best way to go for me to go ahead about it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave your opinion down below in the comments of what you think Call of Duty should do with Warzone going forward. Do you think that they should try to, redo it, try to refine that it factor for them, or should they just let it die? Just like Modern Warfare and Black Ops, should they let those franchises die? Should they let Warzone as a game die? You guys let me know. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, evening, afternoon. I hope you remember that you matter. Go do something today that makes you smile, makes you happy. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.